collecting these samples, they'll just have to fill in like 2 parts. Urine is yellow.
Also, when you said water's blue and I saw the yellow paper sticking
Yeah,
up,
you're like, I know what's next. Yeah, so,
the light bulb went off.
we're only collecting 1 well water sample per household, but we can enroll the entire household, for, as far as participants for testing urine. Children as young as age 5, we're not doing any younger than that. So everyone who's participating would have this sample collection cup there. And then, Melissa mentioned the food log. So it's a food log checklist. It's not like you're writing down every single food you ate throughout the day. There are just some foods that, previous research has shown an association between, that food and arsenic or that food and uranium. Mel mentioned root vegetables and uranium, that sort of thing. So
Now, is that just food that you consume in your home, or food that you consume at work?
work
Or
throughout
it
the
doesn't
day.
matter where it's consumed?
Yeah, doesn't matter
Is it
where.
just like for one day, or is it for a week, or a month, or
So it's for the 3 days before you collect your samples.
3 days before, okay?
Yeah, so like Mel mentioned, we have seafood on here and shellfish, or fish, all types. If you accidentally forget and you eat it anyway, just check it off and let us know, that's all.
I want chocolate.
Yeah, and then there are beverages down here, like we wanna know how much water you're drinking and that sort of thing. So really, it's like a checkbox and then about how much. And the only other thing in this kit, we have our ice packs, because we're concerned about keeping your urine cold after. So the morning of day 4, you would collect all of these samples, put them in your cooler, and leave it outside your door. And we would have already talked and scheduled that pickup. We would know that that's the day you're leaving it for us, and then we'll just take a ride out and we'll pick it up. So you can like set it outside and go off to work.
So it's not like it's a month-long thing, it's just, it sounds like it's 4 days?
4 days.
Yeah,
3 days,
Well,
the
really.
4th day you're just collecting,
Yeah, right. And that your time commitment on those 3 days, it's really like, 10 minutes or less total. The biggest commitment is when we meet and we do that exposure survey and teach you how to collect these. And we found like per person, it's maybe 30 to 45 minutes. We did a family of 4, 2 adults, 2 kids, and it took us like an hour and 15 minutes to do surveys for everyone. So it goes pretty quick. Yeah. And then
So-
you don't have to see us again after.
So what happens when you find something bad?
So if we find that your urine contains,
Some of these big red flags.
yeah, right.
Still a crossbones show up in my house?
Do that little
We just put a
hazard sign
sticker on
there
your
that's-
door.
Or, yeah, I get the biohazard on my door?
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's it.
Very exciting.
If your urine is elevated above a certain level, so our level is 20 micrograms of arsenic per liter of urine, so that's high. So if it's high like that, then we'll call you right away. We won't wait and hold on to your results. We'll verbally tell you what it is, and then we'll start discussing like what could be going on. Maybe it's your water, maybe it's the food that you're eating, maybe it's an occupational exposure. We might ask you for another sample just to make sure that like the testing went well.
A little false positive or something.
Yeah, something like that, which I mean, it's very rare, but, and then we do have a contract so that you can talk with someone like, and get kind of medical advice. It's result interpretation advice. In the past, it's been with the New England Poison Control Center, so they can kind of help guide you with like next steps. So we'll be able to refer you. And then, say it's your water, there's that link, your arsenic's high and your arsenic in your water is really high. We can provide you some resources on learning about well treatment systems. We can refer you to some people at the Department of Environmental Services who to talk to and learn more.
Okay.
You won't be real tired of. You just sore.
Good. Well, they could be in our wells, we are septic systems.
You'll know when you get a T-shirt with the biohazard on it.
Yeah, yeah, sure, yeah,
I like that picture.
yeah.
Yeah, so
We'll avoid that.
that's the main thing. I mean, we wanted to come out here and talk to you guys about it and make sure that you're okay and you support us coming into your community, and then get ideas for how to spread the word.
Dumb question. When you're all said and done, you have the aggregate information and such, and you have the public meeting and such. I assume the town's gonna get a report on that, not that it's gonna probably pinpoint any particular people and their well stuff, but it'll kinda give us a, like a report card on how the town is as a whole.
We will be, creating some documents at the end that we can share. Yeah.
It'd be kinda nice, I mean, if we know that, say you do 25 people in town and, 20 of them all have arsenic, I mean, it'd be good to know on our part, because if
Mhm.
it's happened to them, the neighbors would probably wanna know, cause they're all in the same aquifer, or they,
Right.
and such, so it'd be good to
Yeah.
spread the news.
No, that's the whole point, like, public health, get the word out, educate people. Okay, well, we don't wanna take too much more of your time, we have our cards here.
How long does the program run?
So, we were awarded, our
5
grant
years.
lasts until the end of August of 2019.
Yep.
This particular study won't be lasting that long, we'll have the data analyzed well before then. And we're hoping to submit another application to continue our funding for this, so,
Cool.
yeah. We'll just leave these here for you
Yeah,
guys.
thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thanks for having us.
You haven't dropped yet.
Boy or girl?
It's a boy.
Oh.
My
Listen to
Don't
the
tell
boys.
anybody the name.
No, my,
Like I said, I got 2 daughter-in-laws, they're both having boys, and then I think there was like 4 other people that, just immediately, they're all having boys, everybody's having boys.
Not me.
I'm excited.
Yeah, but not, well, they're not having a baby now.
No, not now, but even back then.
Surprise!
Back then, I was looking
I'm talking
for
about as I'm delivering in the last, probably in this range of last, like, month and a half to the next month and a half.
Needed to catch up to the population of women out there.
Probably.
There you go.
You guys have a great night.
Right,
Be
you
in
too.
touch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Be in touch.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sure that people would be
Yeah,
interested in
yeah,
participating in this.
This
Yeah.
wasn't something we were sent or in the office, I read this somewhere.
Yeah, we asked them
In
to
the
see us.
email a couple
Oh,
weeks
Yeah, there was
ago.
an email.
She asked to
That's what I
come
thought, yeah.
visit us and.
Yep.
And we said, sure, come see us.
Okay.
We were interested. So,
Very nice.
excellent. Well, if you're lucky enough, you might get a postcard.
Thing is, though, if you sign up to it, and you find you get out of the problem, and you, well, it's like, oops.
You might
What I
find
don't
out your
know.
wife's.
I know what I
putting in
don't
your
know isn't good, but, yeah.
That's what I was
food. You might find out your wife's been putting it in your food.
That would not surprise me.
I thought you were saying you'd be found out that you were putting in your wife's food.
No,
Yeah.
I don't cook. I don't cook.
Oh, okay.
A little at a time.
Have some salt, dear.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
After seeing those two gals, I'm feeling pretty old. They look like kids.
Yeah,
You are.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I was thinking, I'm looking, going, holy smokes, am I getting old?
Yes, we are.
I see that every morning in the mirror.
I'm looking back at you.
Yes.
Oh, man.
yeah.
Well, now that you have left, we're gonna come back and pick on you if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead. Pick on me all you want.
The big, girl in the room here is that Stockbridge.
Yeah.
Where are we at? Because I think as you alluded to when we were talking with, Mr. J there, that, when the town says to do something in a town meeting, if they want it done,
Yeah.
then we're getting,
Yeah.
down the road here.
Well,
So-
my,
If you could enlighten us on
Yeah.
where you are.
well, I've handed the whole thing off, the rest of the permit process, to, the guys at Mitchie Corporation, because they offer that service, and my inability to get it in a timely manner, they offer that, so I gave them all the information that I had gathered up for it, and they're going over it now, they're gonna finalize it and take care of it.
Lights go on?
They should. Yep, they just did.
Two ladies are going out.
The automatic.
Actually, just go out that door right there and it'll probably, is it on already?
Yeah.
So. Now they also are gonna put together the, construction of the culvert and.
Yeah.
And all that.
Well, they got, the size and all that was done by a regular, the hydraulic part of it was the size of it.
Mhm.
And Lean had got an email,
From DOT?
yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
right
was
here.
kinda surprised because all of a sudden her interest in that,
Mhm.
back when Ron was selectman,
Right,
he kinda got a hold of her, cause he knew her from his connections with DOT, and they didn't seem to, I mean, not that what they wanna do is unreasonable, but
Nope.
they had no interest in anything, but I was kinda surprised out of the blue she
Mhm.
emailed. I don't know if it had anything to do with the fact that they just did the bridge inspections.
It could be.
There were two guys out there
Yep.
at that one, and then they came down on the other one in Bellabrook and did that, so maybe that triggered it. It was within the last month, I would say, that those guys were out there doing their thing.
Gotcha. Do we have plans that would mixed in for the PE?
They will, from Mitchie has an in-house engineer that'll have
Okay.
the PE stamp,
Mhm.
rated weight loading and all that for the unit.
Steve moves the screen up so that he can have the heat rise, so now there's no screen here.
And keep all the bugs coming in.
Pull one up.
Yeah, I mean, they're all engineered, PE stamp.
Okay, so we don't have plans now as a,
Not today,
Okay.
no. But I mean,
mm,
that's the service that they provide.
right,
They engineer it
Mhm.
for the loading, and that's what we would,
Mhm.
you know, whoever needs to see him or wants to see him,
right.
would see. So it'll meet whatever criteria
Mhm.
that's required. And that's what the, I mean, they work with the state all the time on these
Right.
projects, so I'm sure they're probably familiar with.
As soon as they have them, maybe you can ask them to
Yeah.
send them a set to Nancy and
Yeah,
then
well,
we'll,
yeah, why not? Yeah, I don't think that, I mean,
might as well, I mean, at least.
yeah, I mean, I think it's just a formality, I don't think there's, anything comes of it. Because it's not like I'm trying to design it, or, you know, a friend of mine's a, you know, pretty sharp guy, and he's
Right.
designing, it's somebody with a.
Right. Well, I know we saw you get the borings done because we paid the bill.
Yes,
So-
that, that was part of the deal to make sure they size the footings correctly, cause they're a precast unit.
Yep.
You know, and it's like, instead of just arbitrarily saying, alright, we gotta use this,
Mhm.
they'll calculate the load bearing. So, I mean, the good thing is, no obstructions, it was like 25 feet deep on each one of them. The
Right.
downside was it was kind of a sandy granular material,
You're gonna need a,
so it'll
Wider.
probably need a wider base. I mean, that's, you know,
mhm.
common sense
But
kind of
that's
tells
what,
you that.
that's what those borings are good for.
Yeah, exactly, that's what the key component to that was, so they know exactly what size to size that for the load. So it's all part of the process.
So, now that you've handed all that off to Mitch and everything, they give you an ETA?
I don't know exactly today, no. I'll find out. I'll be in contact with them again in a week or so.
Yeah, cause they said we're getting time to, you know,
Yeah,
eating up some time here and everything, and
yeah.
this year probably would've been the best time to do it. Cause the
Yeah,
water's
it's
not
not gonna
gonna
get
be.
any lower, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, there's still water there though.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still below the water. Yeah, it is dry, but I mean, it's,
Dunbarton's now in the extreme drought section. If you look at the map,
we are or we aren't?
we
We
are.
are.
Oh.
It's now, they updated it today, they do it
Oh,
every
Thursday,
Thursday. They
Thursday.
moved up, the line is on the other side of our town, heading
Oh, wow.
towards where,
Yeah, I know, they kept.
Yeah.
Over in Rockingham County, I didn't really
Yeah.
pay attention to it.
yeah, no, Dunbarton is now in the red zone, we're in the extreme drought side, so.
And they're not predicting a rainy fall at this point.
Not yet.
Could,
Oh.
could change, we could
Maybe.
get all of it in a couple days.
Need one good hurricane.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I mean, if they're gonna be able to, think we'll be able to get in this fall?
I don't know, I don't really think that they can actually manufacture the thing until November from my discussion with them.
That would suck.
Yeah, well, I mean, they, you know, they have.
They'll definitely well cured if they do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, they can make the units all year round, it's just whether
Right.
you can put them in the ground or not.
Depending on the winter weather.
Yeah, that's
It's
exactly
a
what the
warm
guy from
winter.
Mitchie said, if we have a winter like you had last
Yeah.
winter, but what are the chances of that? What are the chances of a dry summer too?
I'll tell you in April.
Yeah, I mean, that's kinda, I mean, that's being,
Well,
that's,
I mean, it's a possibility, but not.
it's not a very high likelihood. I mean, that's a pretty low possibility, and even that, I mean, as the weather was last year, you wouldn't wanna take a chance, cause you get started halfway through the project and then the weather changes dramatically. It's New England, you know how that is. It can overnight, so.
They give you an estimate on the cost of all this?
Of what, of the whole package?
Yeah, the whole package, yeah, I mean, doing the.
Well,
super
not
units.
not all of it in one package, it's like the engineering part for the stamp, to have the design plans and all that, is somewhere between $9,000 and $10,000 for that aspect of it.
The concrete, I mean, they give,
Yeah, well, after they design it, again, the footings is gonna, you know, decide the size, how much concrete they're gonna put in and all
Right.
that, but we're still in good shape with it though. And they have complete control over this situation because they make their own concrete, they pour their own forms, they've got a whole, they've now, with this other addition to the whole thing is a permitting process, they completely in-house.
Mhm.
I mean, which is a good thing.
Yep.
I think. There's just one vendor you gotta deal with, the only thing they didn't do was the borings, but we didn't have, I mean, Miller Engineering could've calculated, done the math for the loading, but they don't need to, cause Mitchie can do it, it would just be duplicating it, so they take all that information, compile it, know what they need. So, and I've had a lot of experience doing a lot of, I've been around looking at several that they've done, and
Mhm.
talked to different
They
towns.
deliver them and everything.
Yep, they'll deliver them and everything, and they help you install them, so, I mean, it's not.
So you do all the prep work, and then
Yep.
come in and they'll drop them in there and help
Yep.
you and set them in place and.
Yes, it's all done with a crane.
Yeah.
You know, they don't supply the crane, the town will have to, or the customer has to supply it, but they supply trucking, delivery, all that stuff, the permitting for the hauling the stuff, anything they need to do. That's what they put one in over in Epsom, and I went over and watched when they put it in, just to see how the whole thing went. Seemed like a pretty good system.
How many years we have left on the warrant article before it lapses?
I wanna say, maybe two? I
Yeah,
have to
two,
look
I
at my
think.
spreadsheet, yeah.
I know we're getting slim on time, that's why.
Yeah, it was two, I think, is left.
Mhm.
It was five, wasn't it?
Yeah, originally it was in the budget.
Yep.
And then we lapsed it into a
Yeah.
warrant,
Mhm.
which had a 5-year expiration,
Right.
so it gave us an extra year, basically.
Don't wanna wait till the last minute to.
No.
No.
But I mean, if he,
Mhm.
I mean, if they get the thing made, we could pay for it this year, I mean, it's, or whatever. You know what I mean, if that's,
Yeah.
or whatever, that's, we don't need.
Well, you gotta pay for, well, you know, the warrant articles for the whole installation, the whole enchilada, so.
Yeah,
But I think the more important point is, like say, the town wanted it done, and
Yeah.
we still haven't got there yet, and
Yeah.
can't go pretty much anywhere in town without someone asking you,
Yeah, I
where's it
know.
gonna go in, so.
Yeah.
We figured just.
Depends what part of town you're in, you're on Ray Road, people over there say, I hope you have it.
True, but I mean,
Yeah.
you go to the transfer station, I can't speak for Bob
Yeah.
or Tom, but I'm sure they get, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
ask
yeah.
that same question as well.
Even the people on Ray Road.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple people, there's mixed people over there.
So if you had Misery Loves Company, we would ask you about it.
Yeah, that's all right, people ask me too, I mean,
And actually, if there was any way we could have helped you to
Yeah.
move it forward, you know.
yeah,
uh,
I appreciate that.
I mean, if you get permits, stuff like the DES, whatever, let me know, 'cause I talk to those guys on a daily basis.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure one person knows the other, I can help you a little bit if I have to.
Yeah, that's almost sad when you say that though.
Mhm.
It's almost like privilege has its,
Well, no,
get
I
things
mean,
done faster than somebody walking in over the counter, you know what I mean? Just because you're association with them.
right, well,
It's
no,
not
they
the
can-
way,
they can point you in
that's
the
why
right-
people get mad at government.
But they can point you in the right direction, I know the right people to ask to get it moved, you know, to move it, you know. They'll put it in the queue, DS is actually pretty good about that, I mean, even my situation is a DOT, we don't get put ahead of anybody else in the queue.
Yeah, no, there's a system,
Exactly, but at least you know where,
packing order or whatever.
you know where to go to get the, right people so you talk to them.
Yep.
You know, and they'll keep an eye open for you.
I got a question. Give it time, a quick one, road related.
Sure.
Did we do anything with Kelsey Road at this point?
We are we talked to the town attorney, he's still reviewing some stuff and hopefully he's got a lot of stuff going on with the lawsuits going on with the utilities and stuff.
Yeah, whatever, I didn't.
And then, so hopefully the end of September, beginning of October, he's gonna get back to us with it, and we'll make, announce a decision then. And-
But the only reason I was
Yep.
bringing it up is, maybe you're aware of this, but I guess, a month or two ago, Mike had submitted a subdivision plan, or tried to, but it was inaccurate, didn't have enough information on it to be complete enough to be accepted at a
Right.
planning board
Mhm.
meeting, so Steve gave it back to him, or whoever
Yep.
reviewed it, for them to get the right information on, so eventually,
Mhm.
that's gonna come in, and that's gonna bring up somebody having to make a decision, I would think.
Well, I mean, regardless whether the subdivision is there or not, I mean, it's that 120 some odd
Yeah.
piece of foot of
Yep.
dirt there that's sitting there, whether that stays Kelsey Road or public road or
Yeah.
whatever the case would be, it should be irrelevant to his subdivision plan. I mean, You know, how many times you have.
Yeah, I
You have
don't
a
know,
road,
yeah.
and someone brings another road, a T intersection into it or
Yeah.
something.
Between both parties, somebody needs to know,
Mhm.
you know, what kind of decisions that would come up with, you know.
I think probably it'd be safe to say probably the beginning of October, we should have,
Yeah, I mean, we're fine as far as maintaining,
Yeah.
we'll just
yes.
keep maintaining, turning around that turnaround like we did.
I mean, that'll be part of.
That's not an issue anymore.
And that'll be part of the decision too, is, you know, as far as what we're gonna go with it, but we wanna, he's got some more, you know, review, and he's
Yeah, no, that's fine, I was just curious.
caught up with a
I
bunch of
mean,
other stuff, so,
I haven't had
Yeah.
any issues down
Right.
there, I haven't got any calls about anything to do with either,
Well,
either party on the road or anything, so it's been quiet all summer.
when we do, we'll let them both know so they can come to
Yeah.
a
But as
meeting,
far
and
as-
we'll tell everybody in God and country.
Yeah, as far as turning around and all
Yeah.
that stuff, nothing's been a problem, we've been using that turnaround, it's working out fine.
Good.
It's easy to negotiate, it's,
And we may have to take and ask for another temporary easement just for another year or so, just to see what, you know.
yeah, I don't know, I was just curious, that's all. I hadn't heard anything from that neck of the woods, so maybe after that.
Hopefully, I say probably, put this way, in probably 3 weeks, if all goes well.
Yeah, I don't, it probably doesn't really make any difference.
Um,
He said there's gonna be an unhappy customer either way,
I'm sure.
whichever way you go.
Yes, indeed. Well, we got you here.
Yeah.
Plow trucks. Winter is coming. I know
Yeah.
we talked about this about a month or two ago. Any progress on that?
Yeah, I've got a guy, well, actually, it's Bill Nichols' son is
Mhm.
committed to working with us.
Well, he lives over on Kimball Pond, doesn't he?
No, not anymore, that was,
Oh,
that was Wayne, yes, Wayne, a
Wayne,
number of
yeah.
years ago, and, he sold that place,
Oh, he did.
moved out of town for a while, now he's back around, and,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I mean, that's what I got, I mean, I still, wouldn't mind finding another individual.
Mhm. It doesn't hurt to have more. that's
No,
for sure.
I'm constantly looking, but,
Mhm.
so that will fill the void, I don't fill the void that Simon left with
Yeah.
a number of years of experience, but that position, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That's the best we can hope for.
Yeah. Better than nothing, having nobody.
Well, yeah, and it's as you know, it's kind of it's a tough thing to get people interested in.
Absolutely. I know the state always has issues getting
Yeah,
higher trucks.
it's always but I think we're gonna be all set, I mean, as far as I know, it was a definite commitment, so.
Yeah.
You know, as long as nothing unforeseen happens, like anybody gets hurt or something,
Right.
you can't do much about that, unless you wanna put plows on the fire trucks.
Yeah, well, just put plows on garbage trucks.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they do, seriously.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they're not the only ones. I think New York does that too, quite a bit, Massachusetts.
Yeah, the city type
Yeah.
scenarios. Well,
How we doing on Grapevine?
good. Good. Big pavement project next week.
Just the base coat, right?
On that one and the top on the other one.
Okay, again, do both at the same time?
Yeah, all at the same time. Yeah, that's the plan.
Cool, nice.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
uh,
Cool. The
His-
people,
his road too,
they
right?
tell me they like it, the gravel's better than the pavement. Cause the pavement was so bad before, and now in that neck of the woods, I have to laugh, and David J, and talking about how pavement is right
Yeah.
now, I'm thinking, yeah, I got some people over there that say, like, the gravel is better than the pavement.
Well, you pave his road the way it is right now, and probably in 3 years, he'll be asking you to put it back to gravel.
I don't know, I mean, I can understand this point, but that's gonna increase the speed of the cars. And,
Absolutely. Probably increase taxes too, because now it gets
yeah,
assessed at a
different
different value.
calculation, yeah, I don't know how much that would
I
affect him,
don't.
but you're right, it probably will, Lee would know that, right, with
A little bit,
assessing.
not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
And
sure
he is
he,
a class 5, so.
I think he probably figures that one out, way the damage to his car from
Yep.
potholes or whatever.
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I've seen a number of times I've gone down Twist Hill and I've seen the whole apron of
Oh, yeah.
Woodway out there, and, you know, at least half the
After some of
travel
those big
lane.
rainstorms,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So I mean, if it was asphalted, that would stop.
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I mean,
Yeah.
overall maintenance wise, it would be easier in
You
the
would have-
winter when we plow, because you can scrape it, put some sand and salt on at the same time while you're in
So
the
you can't
neck
put
of the
salt
woods.
on a dirt road.
No, that's what I mean, it
It's
is,
visual.
it is a pain in the butt.
Mhm.
I will admit it, and it would be much nicer, but again, like I told him, it's just, you know, it's hard to, we've got so many paved roads that, you
Well,
know,
I
need
guess-
the attention.
Question for you,
Yeah.
Grapevine, we wanna finish that up next year, right?
Yep.
In theory,
Yes.
how much do you think it's gonna be to take and do the remainder of it? In the
Well-
sense, because if, you know, just to be fair, you know, we wanna get Grapevine done, but if he comes with a warrant article with this, I mean, where are
Yeah.
we gonna, I mean,
Yeah.
price wise, are we gonna be way over or above?
No, I mean, I would like to keep asking for that same amount so we could go do some other paving, but the amount of work that has to be done on this last section it's minimal compared to the rest. And I've been getting a couple different opinions from people on what we should really do. Some of the consensus is from where we've stopped at Guile Hill Road to finish the road, we could just do a shim and overlay it.
Mhm.
And it would be fine, it would probably last a long time. Well, it
Mhm.
would. It's in relatively decent shape.
No drainage really necessary?
No, it's just a couple incidental things.
Okay.
It just really incidental, no big, large scale project, so it's predominantly a paving issue. So that means out of a 3 mile road,
Mhm.
2 miles of it have actually been reclaimed, a little bit of gravel added, or
Mhm.
a lot of gravel in some instances, and some drainage done. This last section, I think, personally, I'm wrangling with, man, we've done 2 miles of this,
Mhm.
we've reclaimed it and paved this. Now, if we don't do it, we're gonna have a third of it that's not gonna keep up to the same level of wear as the first 2/3.
Right,
Just to give you some quick round numbers, you don't have to write all this down, but just for an argument's sake, if you wanted to, you can. To grind that or reclaim it and fine grade it, to put the asphalt back down, would cost approximately $20,000. That aspect of it by itself. Well, if you do that, then we really should add a minimum amount of gravel, 4 to 6 inches of gravel to work with. It shapes it better and strengthens it up a little, so you got that cost.
yeah, that's gonna be.
So that puts it up, and then on top of that, now you've gotta start, you gotta put back that 2.5 inches of asphalt,
Mhm.
because there's nothing there.
Right.
And then a top coat on top of that. So, having said that, that's what escalates the cost on that.
Right.
To keep it more affordable, so we could spread our dollars out more, you would just shim it, put a good heavy shim on to level it and get the shape of the road back, which really isn't that bad.
Mhm.
I mean, Tom could probably attest to this when you ride down, it's significantly better on that
Oh,
end
yeah.
of town.
Yeah.
Significantly. And put a layer of asphalt, so you've done away with all those extra labor costs,
Mhm.
and you're just talking about the asphalt. So you probably, with a heavy shim and a top coat, you know, I mean, this is a real exaggerated number, but that might equal out to only 2 inches of asphalt,
Mhm.
you know?
Right.
So, you've already half as much asphalt, and none of that other labor cost. So that's kind of a significant thing.
But will it last as long as the reclaim that we already just did?
Probably not. Probably not. But,
How long would it last?
well, I don't know,
I mean, yeah.
yeah, you know, I mean, you kinda.
I don't expect an answer,
Yeah.
it's a rhetorical
No, I know,
question.
I understand, you're not asking me
Mm.
my opinion, you're asking it as discussion of
Yeah.
how long, is it gonna last 10 years, is it gonna last 15, or is it gonna last 20? I mean, it really is a tough decision on which direction to go. To get more done and more bang for our buck, we could do that,
Mhm.
but having already reclaimed 2/3 of it and gone this route, the whole thing would be the same.
Well, I guess
I mean, we don't have to have that discussion tonight, but it's the two sides of the coin I've talked to.
well, I mean, because we are on the topic.
Yeah.
In your opinion, how long would the sections that you've done already being reclaimed and added the gravel, did the drainage, you're anticipating them to last before we
I-
have to really look at them again?
I would imagine that somewhere between 15 to 20 years, we would wanna put another layer of asphalt on. But if you do it before it goes to heck,
Yeah.
you don't have to put as much asphalt, you just put a wear course on,
Yeah.
which is predominantly, we're gonna use an inch, let's say.
Right.
Like the state, when they'll do a road
Mhm.
out here,
Yep.
they use like a 3/4 inch,
Mhm.
is what they'll tell you the average is when they they do it. And it's similar to the maintenance program the state does, they take a good road and they just keep overlaying,
Keep it
because they know the base is good on it,
Mhm.
so they'll invest their money in that.
Yep.
So I mean, that's the way we could look at this, I mean, we can't just go away and expect never have to do anything to it.
Oh, God, no.
It's just, and I think that's part of the problem that happened to this, we went a little too long on some of it, but.
Well, I mean, cause you know, with the warrant article coming, that we obviously are foreseeing right now and everything, and the
Yeah.
numbers that you're giving him,
Yeah,
I mean,
it almost takes the place of that,
mm,
right?
pretty much.
I mean, I think maybe if he comes to town meeting with a warrant article, we put a warrant article in and maybe at the, on the floor, one of them gets canceled, right? That's what I would, you know,
I would think, yeah.
I mean, maybe that's an option, I don't know.
I mean, we still got, you know, Montalona and Morse Road are both
Yeah.
horrible, that are in.
They're gonna
variety.
need some significant work.
Yeah.
So I,
How long's Morse Road? That's what?
mile,
1
That's
mile.
mile, yeah.
1 mile across it.
So it'd be like doing a mile of grapevine, we'd be
Yeah,
doing
pretty
Morse.
much. I mean, they did some work to that years ago,
Yeah,
and they cut some of the hills down and ground it up, but that would just be basically this,
well, you got the same situation as you do on Ordway, you have some ledge that is sitting right there around a couple of corners, you have to
Yeah.
take and knock that out if you
we
want some
took a
decent
little of
drainage.
that back once already with it, right
Yeah.
by,
Um,
just from the guy, just radio's house, right
Yeah.
on that curve.
yeah,
They
right-
do a little
right across
work in
from
it, there's not
Constance.
many culverts, and there's only one little section that needs some under drainage across from.
There's a section probably using guardrail though, cause if you look over the bank and it's pretty steep.
Don't look over the bank.
That's right. Hug the white line.
Yeah,
Yellow.
well,
Well, anyway,
Yellow
yeah,
line.
so I mean, it's all,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah,
lot,
we
it's a
don't
lot
have
of different
enough funds
directions. I mean, in, just one more thing, I don't wanna drag it out too much longer, but on Grapevine Road, the, developers, Lamotang, they upgraded a culvert in front of their property, which is near the bowl line, changed the whole metal culvert
Yep.
to a concrete culvert.
Alright.
That was part of the deal, we got them to do it through the planning board as an upgrade to the intersection. So I was there when they dug it up, and the town engineer was there, and we looked at it, and I was picking his brain. I mean,
Yep,
he's a-
absolutely.
He
He's a
designs roads, he's an engineer, he oversees them,
Mhm.
and I really couldn't get him to commit on anything, I mean, his theory, we were looking at his theory's like, hey, you probably got a lot of roads that are worse than this in town, so it's like, okay, right. So I mean, I was hoping for a little more definitive direction, but
Yeah,
that
but
was
he
his
wasn't,
call.
he wasn't getting paid.
Yeah, no, but I mean, he was being honest, I
Yeah,
think
no,
he was
it's
looking
good.
at the, you know, it's like, yeah, you could do a bunch of stuff to this, or is it, are you better off spending the money somewhere else, that's what he said.
Mm, Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be a,
as I've said before, it's ongoing,
mhm.
doesn't make any difference if it's me or the next person, we're gonna have the same discussions over the years,
we don't go away,
no.
but I'm sure we'll probably have a discussion when it comes time for a town meeting, so we gotta be ready with
Yeah,
those.
I mean, in
Make
this,
that
you
decisions.
know,
And budget's coming up too, so we gotta think about that as well.
yeah, no, well, like I said, with David, I mean, he has been after me a lot about, not just asking,
Yep.
and, you know.
Can I also remind
course.
the board that the highway department's been very helpful with the transfer station and support.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very
Thanks.
much.
There are some
And
days
It's
it's
taking,
it's
is that
taking
little of
Pete
the
away.
breakdown this last couple
Yeah.
weeks,
Yeah.
he's gone pretty much almost all day when he has to go Tuesday and Thursday, you know,
Yeah.
close to 7 hours. I mean, it's not anybody's fault, other than
No.
it's just what you gotta do.
We do appreciate that and thank you for us
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, yeah, no, he doesn't mind doing it, something different, but
Yeah,
it's just every couple of days, it's like, but whatever, it'll come to an end, I think, eventually.
well, hopefully the compact will be back together soon.
Yeah.
No, he's supposed to be there.
Oh,
With the
good.
part, I'm hoping.
Well, that'll make it easier for them, and then
Yeah.
he doesn't have to, like, today he had to take 3 open tops, or 3, because they can't compact this stuff.
Right.
There's no weight to it, but it still just takes time.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that'll make it a little easier.
Absolutely.
Alrighty.
We do appreciate everybody pulling
Well,
together
no,
for this
I mean,
transfer
it
station
kinda-
situation.
We didn't have, had to do something, it made the most sense to have Pete do it,
Oh, absolutely.
in-house instead of trying to go out and get another vendor, I mean, that just
Oh, absolutely.
complicates everything,
I mean,
and it costs a lot
There's still one employer regardless, no matter what department it is, one employer, so it's the town.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean,
Yeah, it makes sense to do it in-house.
it's in-house money too, so yeah, I mean, rather the highway department or the transfer station pays his wage, he's already in the system.
Yep.
It's not,
But we do appreciate it, and we
Yeah.
pass it on to them.
alright, I'll tell him.
And you for, all your help as well, and help coordinate it too. I
Oh,
mean, there's no doubt
it's
about
not a
that.
big deal, he knows what days he's gotta go up there, and he works out with Brad, whatever Brad wants him to do, and just does it. Everything seems to go fine.
But, you guys have anything else for
No, I'm good.
Jeffrey?
Good.
I worn you down anyway?
What's that?
I worn you down? anyway?
Yeah,
Oh, the sign, I had told Lean we were gonna put it up this afternoon, but it didn't happen tomorrow morning first thing.
That's all. I called, since we're on the topic of the sign, I've called over to traffic, gotta talk to Walter over there, don't ask me how to pronounce his last name, I can't, I try. Every time I call over there, I get his voicemail, so either he's on vacation or he's out for some reason or whatnot, but he's not available. And he's the sign guy, I mean, the one that oversees all this stuff. So, and I got that from the administrator, he's the one to talk to. So, until he comes back, I mean, far as the state doing it, I mean, if you guys wanna put a temporary stake or something, and temporarily put it up or something, or you think permanently put it up.
I think we should permanently put it up, because that byway group went through the process of getting approval from all these,
Yeah,
for all these signs, and it's up on the knoll, it's not, it's like,
as far as I'm concerned, you can make an executive decision and just, that'd be it.
As put up that post there. If somebody has a problem, they'll get. But it'll be in, cause it wasn't there like a.
Dedication.
Dedication
yeah,
on Saturday.
yep,
You guys alright with that, wanna make an executive decision?
Might as well.
absolutely.
yeah,
Just do it.
Alright.
okay. You saw the stake up there,
Yeah,
and you dropped off, are you gonna drop off, bales for the old home day
Yeah.
tomorrow?
those and some cones and some road closed signs, my usual
Yeah.
stuff.
Your out will be Brian told me to do it.
I didn't tell him to do it.
The run works in the DOT, so that,
I'll say, I don't know,
it was
Okay,
always,
thanks,
thought
guys.
that's where it was supposed to go.
it was always there,
It was always, that's it.
yeah,
Thought it was
Thanks,
supposed
guys.
to be there.
Love you too, man.
it was always there.
Airbrush, we'll look at it.
Bye.
Have a good night,
Have a
Jeff.
good night,
Take
thank you.
care, Jeff.
Thank
Can I
you.
take one of these?
Right ahead.
She's gonna be out after a few
I was
days,
thinking of
but
that she was gonna have a baby and she's gonna leave that other gal with all the work.
Right.
See you later.
It works.
okay.
Okay, moving on then, review bids for town hall library roof retrofit. We got those in our packet.
Yep.
Is the, Deal King submitted a bid before, is this a redo?
It is, I only gave you the revised one,
No,
just as I mentioned last time, the first one he gave us, which I kept the original.
Yeah, one for that.
He had told me over the phone to reduce it by 4,000, and then when I explained that we were going to be reviewing the numbers, then I would like a revised one in writing for the board, along with some references and insurance. He did give us the one that you have in your packet, September 14th, and he's reduced it like he said he would over the phone. So his original one, if you look at the top, came in at $69,975. He gave us insurance, references, experience, he didn't give us anything like that. The revised bid is the $4,000 less that he had, mentioned on our telephone conversation. And then I looked at his quote, it does say that there's a performance and payment bond cost, $2,000 add, I don't know what that is, what that means.
What's that?
That, on his, if you look at his quote,
Morrison,
Right
yeah.
here.
performance and payment bond cost, what is
Right.
that? Any idea?
Basically if they don't do the job, it's a bond that they take out, pretty much anything over $25,000, we should be asking for a bond anyway, in theory.
We should be
Asking
asking,
them to supply a bond, it's an insurance policy on,
but we have to pay it?
no, they pay it and then they just basically back charge us through their
Comes
bid.
out of their number.
So then,
regardless, we'd end up paying it,
Yep.
cause it comes out of their number.
Yeah.
So, I
It's
guess
the-
my question is it part of the 65,000, or is it part of, do I add
Does-
2,000 over that?
add 2,000, cause it says our quotation does not include.
Right, so that's why I have here,
Yeah.
grand,
Yeah.
grand total, 57,975. So I just wanna make sure
Yep.
I
Yep,
listed
you're
it,
right.
listed it
No, you
correctly.
got it right.
Yeah, no, I mean, any contractor that's of this those calibers are gonna have performance bonds, because
Okay.
it protects them, it protects us,
Mhm.
but we end up paying for it.
Got it.
I know Ron White very
So,
well.
this low bidder guy,
Mhm.
Sounds
um, is this just for labor, or is this labor and materials?
Labor and materials, if you look at his, the original one is in the packet, I didn't wanna,
Cause you have an idea what the material cost was, didn't you call
just on the metal,
steel?
just on the
Does this
steel.
make sense?
If we're not doing the two over the door panels, which are the most expensive, that metal bid came in at about 7,500, and Larry noticed that there was one of the beam sections missing up in the attic, or some
Yeah.
metal piece, and then they hadn't done it the same, they did one door quote, so that would double that, so it would come in
Alright.
close to 10 grand if we included the front doors, so
Alright,
we're looking at about 5 or 6 grand alone for metal.
alright.
And then we're looking at,
Well, we're not buying the metal, they
no,
buy.
no, no, no.
No,
I'm
no,
just-
I was asking
just
if it's
trying-
included in this bid though, 'cause this
Right,
guy's
Yeah.
bid is pretty low
well,
compared to the others, that's why I was just asking, did it include all the materials?
oh no, it should, because it's, you're looking at 24-foot LVLs is listed,
Yeah, no, I see that.
Structural fixes at 4 pounds of building, wood insulation, so, straighten truss D top cord, install braces and bolting as shown, and required while using bolt schematics listed in S1.1, S1A,
Yeah.
S1C, and
Yeah.
truss C.
and one thing
Added the 24-foot LVL,
he did say also, he, in the second to last line, he said, build new, larger entrance for the
16 foot
access
plus.
door,
Right.
if necessary, because he'd rather keep it in longer stock, and he thought
Right.
where the opening is there, you could knock out a section of the opening, expand it, frame it out,
Yeah,
so that it's easier to get in and out.
right, no, it
In the
makes sense.
future, rather than go through the roof or go
Yeah.
through the,
Yep.
you know, other, cause I ran all the different options by him, I said, well, you can get a lift, go through the outside, have to detach it, that type of thing, or, you know, the other.
Well, I'd
two
rather
choices.
have these guys tell us what works best, because that's what they do.
Mhm. And then the packet that's in
He's
the,
got a pretty good list of references
I was
too.
looking at the,
Yeah, no, his reference list is pretty good.
when you're looking at Cobb Hill or,
King, DL King,
yeah, there are larger companies that have a larger overhead too,
Mhm.
so I don't know what size company he has. You
mhm,
know, I'm looking at the jobs that he's got listed, it could be anything that he did in those structures, but
Yeah,
he's probably small enough that he doesn't carry the same overhead.
mhm,
I mean, you had two guys come here from Cobb Hill,
mhm, Yeah.
so that's, you know, when, one of those people is probably gonna be the
GC,
project manager
Yeah.
that watch what's going on, so.
mhm,
Well, I guess the question now is where we stand for cash.
and where do we get the funding?
alright, do you have a minute to look at these? I would like, I
Because
meant
we
to do
could
that, and I
collect
forgot.
aluminum cans and, you know, bottle toss and stuff.
It'll just take me a second, I'll just run a,
Sure.
current
much
expenditure
copper
report
cans
on the
did
building
you come up
maintenance. I meant to do
Yeah,
that.
no kidding.
He is here if he has any questions.
So,
What time is the sign dedication and where, so I'd
Where?
like to support that on Saturday?
You said where or Dunbarton?
Dundee, yeah, where?
is it on that list that we had earlier there? We had a schedule.
Yeah.
Is it on there?
Let's see, Dunbarton.
I was just curious,
Parade,
where,
neighborhood food activities.
I don't remember seeing it on there.
Supper plan, the phase gets.
they told me about it at the Old Home Day Committee meeting, but they didn't have a time.
Yeah, I don't see it on their schedule either, unless I missed it, but I know in one of my earlier discussions with John Stevens, was that they were hoping to do it at the end of the parade,
Okay.
but I don't know if that's still.
Nothing on here that says annual dedication of the sign. 11 o'clock is the floats, antique cars, tractors, and town organizations, that must be the parade. From Route 13, Barton Hill to Robert Rogers.
Okay, we'll kind of keep our ears open and see when he does.
Yeah, if you see John Stevens, you might ask him, or even J.R. Hoyle.
Yeah, I left them, he didn't,
Yeah.
I just left the meeting over there, they weren't sure of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll wait, we'll figure it out.
You've already seen it, right?
When
Yes,
they
I
flag
saw
you
that.
over, chief, that'll be the time.
Yeah, I just
So,
left the
yeah,
I
house.
saw
and
that.
did
Oh, right, fine,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess one of the questions I have of her is
Mhm.
what the payment schedule is. You know, we've got,
Mhm.
I mean, cause with the roof, he's getting paid
Mhm.
for the materials ahead. You know, when he gets them here, which,
So, what, are you talking about the roof that's
yeah,
in slate, or are we talking?
I'm talking about, well, I'm talking about this guy.
Yeah.
We already have one that's already getting money before he even starts to do anything.
Which one's that?
It's Monzaleski with Century,
Well, then
cause
you
he's
pay
gonna,
to deliver
cause he's
material.
gonna get the material,
Right,
correct, I
but when the
understand.
material comes on site, he gets paid for
Right.
that.
Well, you pay for the materials.
Right,
Right, but
Yes, yes,
that,
yes.
I mean, usually,
Mhm.
the project gets started before
Yes.
anything gets changed, so that,
Mhm.
this is what I'm concerned with, cause, you know, they had projects
Mhm.
here, not
Yeah.
when you guys were selecting, but they had stuff done in this building. The guy came in, took out what he wanted, left him high and dry,
Mhm.
then they had to go get another bid to come and do the work in here. So I just wanna make sure we get someone that's reputable, that's
Yeah.
used to getting in to start doing the project
Right.
before they start getting paid.
Mhm.
Cause
Absolutely,
in the construction world, that's
Yeah.
usually how it
right, absolutely,
is.
absolutely. No, well, we gotta take, if we decide to go with somebody, we need to actually do some contract documents out first.